Super Henge, Doron Chenja. What up, what up, what up, everybody? It's Blackwing 2040. Welcome to another Super Sentai review. And today's Super Sentai review is going to be on 1994's Ninja Sentai Kakuranger. And funny enough, it's celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. So happy anniversary to Kakuranger. Now, this was my second time watching this show. I've watched the show way back during the lockdown period of COVID, and I really thought the show was awesome. Like, I really thought the show was raw, straight up, the first time I watched it. Watching it again, my opinion has drastically changed, and not for the good. So it's very iffy for this show. Now, before I go on, let's, of course, with all Sentai shows, I talk about the plot or the main synopsis. So the plot is as it says. 400 years ago, the ninja and the yokai had a great war. The legendary Sarutobi, Sasuke, and four other ninjas sealed the yokai commander Norihihan and all his yokai energies away in a cave protected by the sealed door. In the present, the only surviving yokai, Kappa, tricks Sarutobi Sasuke and Kirigari Saizo's descendants, Sasuke and Saizo, into releasing the yokai by opening the sealed door. Now these two, joined by three other descendants of the great ninja, become the Kakurangers to fight the yokai with the aid of the three god generals. That's just the basic synopsis of this show. Now, as I said, my opinion on the show has definitely changed. One thing that's different about this show compared to its predecessors, Kakuranger is really broken up into two parts. You have an Act 1 and an Act 2. And honestly, Act 1, although it starts off pretty slow and you don't really get to know a lot of the characters a lot, it starts to pick up like at the back end of Act 1 for me. And Act 2 starts off really strong, but then it goes straight, kind of like declines a little bit, a slow decline right in the middle. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know why. I didn't notice this the first time I watched this, but it has the issue of Zyuranger. Again, Act 2 starts off very strong, but after the first couple of episodes with the new arc, the show has a kid per episode, which does not help it at all for me. Like I said in my Zyuranger review, this does not work well, and it does not go well. So before I get into the common consensus of the entire show, let's talk about the theme song. The theme song is goated. The theme song is straight up goated. It's just the melody of the song, you just gotta listen to the whole theme song for yourself. It's goated, straight up goated. Love it. And as for the suits, these suits are raw as hell. Especially if you look at the Kakuranger suits in HD quality, like say for instance you're watching something like Gokaiger or like the superhero Taisen movies, and you see the Kakuranger suits in like HD quality, they look so clean. They really, really do. And I just love the aesthetic of the ninja suits and the crest of each ninja on the headbands of the helmets. It's just great. The suits are awesome. Really, really awesome. Now, let's talk about our heroes of the show. Starting off with Sasuke, Ninja Red. Sasuke, like I said in the plot as I read, he's part of the reason why the yokai came back. But Sasuke may start off as kind of like a goofball a little bit in the beginning. As the show progresses, he does start to get a little bit serious. And he's not the leader of the team. However, he does step up to the plate a lot as the show starts to progress from the first arc to the second half of the show, all the leading up to the end. He does do well as a Red Ranger. And it took a few moments for him to like grow on me a little bit, especially with his personality. But when it's time to like get serious, Sasuke will get serious. And I gotta say, he really got put into the ringer a lot. There are moments in the show where the other Rangers may get kidnapped and Sasuke has to rescue them. He gets put through the ringer a lot. So he's not a bad Red Ranger. He really isn't. He's I would say he was pretty raw, straight up. Now, on to the next Ranger, the leader of the team, Shirahime, the first female leader in Super Sentai history. And Shirahime is amazing. I love her character. She is straight business, no nonsense. Of course, she may have her moments where she jokes around with the guys, but when it comes down to getting the job done and taking down the yokai, Shirahime does not play around at all. Now, one thing I could say with her character, she doesn't start getting much of a development arc until like the closing half of the first act going into the second act, which is very interesting for her character. And with her being the descendant of her bloodline, the Shirahime clan, and her clan is basically the leader of the Kakurangers from generation to generation to generation, she has big shoes to fill. So again, love her character, one of the best female Rangers in Super Sentai. If you don't believe me, check out Kakuranger for yourself. But Shirahime is definitely up there. She's amazing. She's really dope. All right, these next two Rangers, I want to talk about them simultaneously. Sekai Ninja Yellow and Saizo Ninja Black. I hate these two. These two suck. They're probably the worst Rangers on the entire team. Both of them. And Saizo, of course, is also one of the reasons why the yokai escaped in the first place. Because Sasuke and Saizo. But these two, Sekai and Saizo together, these two are just not good at all. I could not even stand them. Even some of their focus episodes, especially Saizo of all people, he sucks. He really sucks. I just find his character annoying. He's not serious. He just jokes around too much. And Sekai, he kind of has a stereotype with Super Sentai, with Yellow Rangers, where they're known as the characters who eat a lot of food. That's a constant Sentai trope. And again, nothing really develops much for these characters at all. Both of them. I don't like them at all. However, the final member of the team, Jariah, Ninja Black. Jariah is a force to be reckoned with. Funny enough, his character is actually from America. And there are a few instances where he does speak English in the show. But Jariah is amazing. He goes through one of the best arcs in the show where he actually confronts his father's killer. And it made for such a great storyline and a great fight scene. It was amazing. Jariah is really one of the best characters on the team. Even though he doesn't get that much focus episodes either, he's still dope. That's why I say for myself, Sasuke, Shirahime, and Jariah are like the only good characters on the team. But we're not done. We still have the extra hero of this team, Ninja Man. Now, Ninja Man is a result of why the second half of the show is trash. Why do I say that? It's because every time you see him, he's always interacting with children. So I guess what the point of Ninja Man is to have him interact a lot with the younger characters, I guess to appeal to a younger audience, which is fine. But at the same time, if you're going to add another hero to the team, just don't have him just appeal to the children. So the point or the usage of Ninja Man's character, he is basically the apprentice of the three God Generals. And by the three God Generals, I'm referring to the megazords of this season. So the reason why he's been absent for so long is that he fell for a trick played by the main villain of the show, and the three God Generals had to seal him. And the only way he was able to be released is that Shirahime had to break a jar that he was sealed in, and that's how he gets free. And he also rides a cloud, and he also has an alternate form when he grows giant, which he turns into Samurai Man. But sometimes even in his giant form, he stays in his Ninja Man form as well. But Ninja Man is I feel like he's just there for comedic relief. That's it. So those are just our heroes. Now, on to the supporting characters. The mentor of the team, Sandai. I feel like as a mentor, he doesn't do much, especially right from the beginning of the show to leading up to like the second half of the show. He barely makes any appearances. It's like he's a mystery. He's very subtle. He doesn't technically speak in riddles, but he's like an enigma. So anytime he comes to help out the Kakurangers, it doesn't get serious until he starts helping them until the bridge between the first and second half. And on top of that, he doesn't make it to the end of the show. He gets killed off in the beginning of the second half of the show. So I just feel like as a mentor, he doesn't do much, and he's not one of the best Sentai mentors either. I just wish he was around more and he was a lot more serious with his role as a mentor for the team and stop giving information to the team so late. That's what I wish. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Sandai. Now, on to the next character, Hakamenro, who is Shirihime's father. Now, this guy plays a very significant role in the story. So, majority of the show, he is working as a double agent for the heroes and the yokai. So, he's basically serving the yokai, but he's also helping out the Kakurangers on the side. Little does he know, the bad guys are also onto him as well. But that's beside the point. I feel like the whole storyline with him and also with Shirahime, I feel like they spend too much time being separate from each other. And the times that they do get close to each other, which is like around the final arc of the show, I feel like it's way too late as well. So to get the whole bonding moments and everything between her father and Shirahime, it's not there. Especially in the final arc where he gets turned into stone, brainwashed to fight the Kakurangers, and to the point where Shirahime almost tries to kill her father, but she doesn't, thankfully. But I just wish they did more with his character, especially having him be like, a guide to interact with the heroes and be like, look, I'm leaving breadcrumbs for you guys so you could defeat the yokai. I wish that he did a little bit more of that and also interacting with the team. That's something I wish he would do more. And the last supporting character or characters to talk about is Taro and Juro. These two are Shirahime's adopted brothers, and they have served the Shirahime clan for generation after generation. Now, it's very interesting with these two. They only show up, they spend most of their time in the show as dogs. Literally, they're dogs for majority of the show. And then when they transform into their human forms, they only get a limited amount of time to stay human. And then when they interact with Sasuke for one episode, they tell him that if we transform back into our human forms, we're gonna die. Which unfortunately, these two don't make it, which sucks. And it just goes back to the fact where I wish these story elements or these heavy story plot points were brought up somewhere in the middle of the first half of the show instead of being brought up near the end or in the beginning of the second half. That's just what I want to see more of these characters. And on top of that, fun fact, one of the actors who both of these actors that play Taro and Juro, one of them played Kazu in Kakuranger, Die Ranger, and the other brother was Blue Beat. No. Wait, I'm right. Blue Beat in a Juko B Fighter, which is very interesting. And I like that they're twins. It's very interesting. You don't really see that in a Super Sentai. So that's just a supporting cast. Now on to the villains. Our first, the main villain of the entire show, Dai Mao. Now, if you've watched MMPR, you look at this character like, oh, wait a minute, isn't that Master Vile? Like, yes, this is where Master Vile came from MMPR. A lot of the footage comes from MMPR Season 3 and Alien Rangers. This is where they got their source from. So, Dai Mao, he's not actually destroyed or killed like how the usual case with Sentai villains. He's actually resealed. Just like how in Zoo Ranger, they don't defeat Bandora and her gang. They reseal her in a dumpster. So again, with Daimao, he is a really heavy force to be reckoned with, even to the point where he creates a monster that captures Ninja Man, captures the other Kakurangers, and it's like a little bit of a clone of him to again defeat the Rangers, which is a very interesting plot. But he's very, I would say, terrifying, but to a certain extent. But he is able to get the job done. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. I really do like his character. He's really, I would say, he's definitely up there as like second tier of when it comes to like Sentai villains, main villains. So on to the next villain, Junior, who is Daimao's son. This, of course, you look at him, that's Rita Revolta, but he also has a human form. So his character is kind of weird and just weird because he spent most of his time, playing a guitar, but he's just, I don't really have that much to say about him. It's just that I'm like, okay, your father is the king of the yokai. You're also trying to, bring back his return. But at the same time, you don't really do much to a certain extent. However, when it comes to like, dealing heavy damage to the Kakurangers, he does a really good job at it. But the sad thing is that when he gets defeated, Daimao was like, my son was a fool. He wasn't going to become king of the yokai anyway. I'm just like, wow. Even your father didn't have no hopes for you. Sheesh. Sucks to be you. So, but Junior is interesting. That's all I can really say about him. Not the best general, but he's meh. He's kind of meh. That's all I could say. And the last group of villains to talk about is the Konoichi Ninjas, or basically, they're like the evil ninjas that work for the yokai. Their original form, all 5 of them, are cats. It's very interesting. But the cool thing about these ladies, they're like the first full evil Sentai team. And I like that. And any chance they have to go against the Kakurangers, I love that, we have like a good team of heroes, a good team of ninjas, and an evil team of ninjas. So I always like that. And their color palette, very, very different. I feel like, or this is just a guess, I'm just trying to wonder if they got their little bit of inspiration from Ninja Captor. Ninja Captor is basically like an old school classical tokusatsu show that I never watched it, but I've heard of it. So I feel like I wonder if they got their inspiration from Ninja Captor. But overall, that's just all the characters of Kakuranger. And if I'm going to be very honest, guys, Kakuranger, when I first watched, I thought it was raw, but I got to bring it down to mid. It's not trash. I feel like it's just like high mid, low raw. It's like in between the raw and mid brackets. So it's just like more so mid than it is raw. But overall, the show, I love how it goes straight and sticks to its Japanese roots, just like how with Ranger being more Chinese mythology, Kakuranger focuses heavily on the Japanese mythology, the lore with ninjas and the yokai and the folklore, which is very interesting. And this is the first Sentai to ever even do that, because all the Sentais that predate Kakuranger either do something sci-fi, dinosaurs with Zoo Ranger, martial arts, or something else. Kakuranger is the first ever Ninja Sentai, and I gotta give them credit. For their first Ninja season, not too bad, but it could be a little bit better. Just a little bit. But all in all, I say that to say happy 30th anniversary, Kakuranger. You guys rock. And that is my review of Ninja Sentai Kakuranger, folks. If you guys have watched Kakuranger, let me know in the comments section below. Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Or did you think it was Let me know in the comment section. Be civil in the comments. And stay tuned for the next Sentai review, which is going to be on Choriki Sentai O Ranger, which is also the season I gave us Power Ranger Zeo in the States. I'm actually kind of looking forward to checking out O Ranger, even though it's not, one of the best Sentais in the 90s. But if you guys have watched my Power Rangers Zero review, you guys know how much I love those suits. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, one thing I forgot to mention, if you guys want to check out Kakuranger, you can check it out on Tubi, or you could purchase it on DVD. I'll be leaving the link for the DVD in the description. But as always, follow me on all my socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok. Subscribe, click that bell to be notified whenever I go live or whenever the next video goes up. And until then, folks, I am Vengeance, I am Darkness, I am Blackwing. Stay golden.